What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome to more breakdown of the Madden 22 release, basically, of the official release of their next generation of game. Yesterday we talked about and reacted to the official trailer release. It had a little bit of gameplay in there. It had the release of when the game's actually going to be released in August, and it had a bunch of different things. And in today's video, we are going to be breaking down those more specifically. Now, on the 21st, actually it may be, well, the release is on the 21st, but on the 22nd of June is probably when I'll be able to get the video out to you guys, is when they're going to be doing a franchise-specific release where they're going to be going into more detail about franchise mode in Madden 22. That's going to be coming out on June 21st. But on my channel, it'll probably be coming out on June 22nd, the next day, because the way that I recorded the videos, I'll record it on the 21st, but it'll probably come out on the 22nd, or maybe it'll come out, I'll record it on the 22nd, it'll come out. It'll be out on the 22nd, I know that. I don't know if I'll be able to get it out on the 21st, because depending on when they release it, it'll be a little bit too difficult, but it'll be out either the 21st or the 22nd, probably the 22nd. So waiting for that to happen, we are going to be going into more in depth on some of the notes, the Gridiron notes. So let's take a look at some of these things. First off, they have franchise mode, which, like we said, is going to be more in depth on the 21st. It says there will be a more detailed staff management and skill tree progression systems with comprehensive weekly game strategy that integrates into your game plan. That's big. That is really big, because for years we've been asking for more in-depth staff management. We've been asking for offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. We've been asking for these things for years. They've had them in previous versions of Madden in the old days, but now for some reason they took them out. Now they're finally adding new features to the game, just taking from past versions that they think we've forgotten about and adding them back in. But it's good. It's good. It's a nice jumping off point. I said this in the video yesterday. It's a nice jumping off point. It's a nice start. But they need to keep. They can't just sit and relax after they add this stuff in, thinking this is all we want, thinking this is gonna fix franchise mode. No, this is the beginning. This is just the beginning of what they need to do to fix this franchise mode. So adding the staff management and skill tree progression systems is big. It reminds me of NCAA. I mentioned that in the video yesterday too. It gives me huge NCAA vibes. So adding that is good. It's a good start. Through the regular season and offseason, new scenarios will keep things fresh as you weigh various risks and rewards to make the right decisions for your team. That's big. That's a nice little in-depth kind of immersion thing that hasn't really taken to effect so far in previous versions. Plus, franchise will see improvements throughout the year via 3 live service updates. That's big. Last year in Madden 21, they added updates, but they weren't really that crucial of updates. They just added the ability to see your previous seasons, like your season wrap-up or season recap thing. That should have already been in the game and stuff. So it's like the things they did last year didn't really matter that much. This year, it seems like they're going to take it more seriously and actually update the game on a more regular basis with 3 pretty huge updates. At least it seems like. So the first live service update targeting September to release is one of your top requested features, player scouting. That is big. So player scouting has always been just kind of there. Hasn't really been that important. It's been kind of buggy. It's been kind of just like not the greatest, not the most in-depth feature. So maybe with this update in September, the player scouting will be much more immersive, much more in-depth, and much more rewarding when you actually draft a guy in like the 6th round that actually turns out to be something. So obviously we'll go over all this stuff on the 21st. I'm assuming player scouting will be talked about in that article or whatever they're going to do with it. So we'll talk about that. Then we got the Yard. The Yard is back with a new challenge-based solo campaign. You can now visit new field locations on gorgeous beaches and beautiful mountain landscapes across the world. battle boss characters with unmatched NFL talents, and unlock celebrations and items for your avatar. Plus, a new ranked mode can allow for competitive yard players out there to test your skills against one another and earn rewards. Now, me personally, I didn't play the yard at all when Madden 21 came out. It's not really for me. I'm not the target audience for the yard. I'm just strictly a face of the franchise player, or career mode player, I should say, and a franchise player. That's what I do. I dabble a little bit in Ultimate Team, not really that much, but I'm strictly mainly just a franchise guy and a career mode guy. We'll get to face of the franchise in a second. But the yard, they really kind of ruined the yard with the bad servers and adding the Nickelodeon SpongeBob thing, and adding Giannis onto the Kumpo. Why? Like they just went crazy with the yard. Nobody really liked it, and it was kind of a thing. So maybe this will help it. I don't really know. I'm probably not going to play it still in Madden 22. It's just not for me. But if you guys like it, that's fine. You guys play the yard. I'm sure there's dedicated yard players out there. I'm just not one of them. So that's more of an update for you guys. Face of the franchise, United We Rise. Now, we all knew that Face of the franchise would be back. There's no getting rid of it. It's going to be here. They're just going to tweak it. And now it's called United We Rise. So Face of the franchise returns. We knew it would happen. And this time with more customization. They say that. They better back it up. The mode lets you shape your story as a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, or, for the first time ever, a linebacker striving to reach NFL stardom, superstardom, and become more than the game. Now, I've talked about this in the past. I understand why they are doing specific positions where you can only be a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and now a linebacker this year, but why not just give us every single position? If I wanted to be an offensive lineman in the face of the franchise, let me be an offensive lineman. If I want to be a corner, let me be a corner. If I want to be a tight end, let me be a tight end. Why am I only specifically a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, or a linebacker? Why can't you let me be whatever I want to be? This is my face of the franchise. So that's been one of my little nitpicky things over face of the franchise for the past couple of years. It's getting a little bit better. They're adding now a linebacker, so they're keep adding positions. I do remember last year that the only way you could transition into a different position was you had to stay in college, right? You had to stay in college to be a wide receiver or a running back, and then if you left for the NFL, you would stay a quarterback. I think that was the only way. It's something like that. I think that was the only way you could ever turn into a different position. So maybe this year they'll make it so at any time you can turn into a different position, or like one specific moment you'll be able. I don't know how it'll be. You'll start out prepping for the NFL and experiencing flashbacks to your most pivotal college football moments. Yeah, we know the flashbacks are a thing. They're always a thing in face of the franchise. So that's how we'll play the college moments. Will be through flashbacks. Now, EA has been working on the license for more college football teams and college football programs because they are getting back the college football game that's going to be coming out in like 2023 or 2024, something like that. So they are working on getting the license. Maybe there's going to be more college football teams you can choose to go to in Madden 22. We haven't gotten a specific list of the confirmed teams that are going to be in face of the franchise this year. I'm assuming Oregon, Texas, USC, those teams are always in it. I'm hoping that Ohio State is in it this year. I've been wanting them in for the past couple of years, and they've never been in. So maybe this year Ohio State gets in. I hope. I don't know. Probably not, though. You'll then take on the stage on draft day and begin the once-in-a-lifetime NFL journey, playing in every game of your rookie season, rising to the top, all based on choices you make. So it looks like once you get drafted, you play the rookie season, all 17 games. But then after that, I'm assuming it skips around. We had this problem in Face of the Franchise last year in Madden 21. The game mode just was bad. The game mode, it was just bad. Like the storytelling, the way they built the game mode was just bad. And I've talked about this. Go back on the channel probably about 6 or 7 months ago, maybe 8 months now at this point. Go back into the archives of my channel and look up the rants that I have about Face of the Franchise. They're classic juice rants because the game mode was just so frustrating, it's so poorly made. And yet they put it out for everybody to play, and it just, hopefully this year is better. I mean, I don't want to get into another rant now. if they do a Face of the Franchise specific release, I'll talk about it, and then we can talk more in depth into that. They have all new player class and progression systems. Also lets you choose your skills ratings and unique attributes with even more customization options to realistically craft your avatar. And you can also level up this year by sharing progression between the yard and all new Face of the Franchise Unite. So we don't really care about that. Next, we move on to Superstar KO, which, again, like the yard, I don't really care that much about. I never played Superstar KO at all. I don't really know what is involved with it. I don't know anything about it, really. So we're going to read it. We're going to talk a little bit about it. Superstar KO is back again in Madden NFL 22 with a co-op eliminator mode. You'll be able to play quick games in unique stadiums with fan favorite house rules and icons of football culture. Authentic NFL teams, various stadiums, and rosters will be available for the first time, which is pretty cool. Authentic NFL teams, which could mean the current NFL teams, like the 2021 teams from the game, or it could mean past teams, like we've mentioned before, Legends teams. Historic teams, it could mean that. That would be cool. That would get me to play Superstar KO if that's how they involved or introduced historic teams in the game. Various stadiums and rosters, which is another one. Rosters right here could mean historic rosters. That would be pretty cool. I would play Superstar KO if that's what meant in it. Dynamic Game Day. For the first time ever, you can experience Dynamic Game Day, a new feature that will impact gameplay across every mode in this year's game, making the thrills and unpredictability of the NFL come to life. Now, I don't know how this is going to affect competitive gaming. I don't really play competitive, so it's not going to affect me in that way, but it will involve some sort of franchise. It says it's going to be involved in every single mode, so competitive players may not like this, but it's just going to be more of a dynamic atmosphere like NCAA, like we talked about earlier with the NCAA vibes, with the coaching tree and stuff. This is giving me more NCAA vibes with the when you have a play in a massive game away from home, your tree, your route tree on the field is like vibrating and stuff. You can't see it. It's not as clear because it's a loud atmosphere. It's hard to get the play across. That's the point. So I'm assuming that's how it's going to be in Madden. Next-gen stats, star-driven AI and game day atmosphere, which we'll dive into below. Make up dynamic game day combining the power. I can't read right now. Make up dynamic game day combining the power of next-gen technology, real-world play data, and enhanced AI helps deliver the most emotionally driven and interactive gameplay yet. Now, this is all well and good. I got to see it in action first. I got to see it in the game to be able to know it's going to be good. I just don't know. I can't get too excited about it because I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be too crazy or if it's going to be not crazy enough or if it's going to be just, I don't know. So I actually got to get my hands on the game to be able to see it first. So we're going to be doing that. And then we've got next-gen stats, which we won't really talk that much about next-gen stats because they just introduced them this year. So who knows really what they're going to be doing. Moving on, or like adding them and enhancing them, I guess you could say. The game day atmosphere is also bringing real life games, NFL game scenarios to NFL or to Madden 21 or Madden 22, I should say. So I mean, unique atmospheres, each stadium housing a unique home field advantage. You'll be able to shift the momentum. So I'm assuming there's going to be a momentum bar that is going to be in there, like old NCAA games have had momentum bars. So they're not really adding new features. They're just taking from previous versions of games that they've owned and they've used. New crowd animations, on-field reactions, and celebrations that bring the real-world emotion of game day to life. That is big because I have heard rumors, I can't confirm it yet, but I have heard rumors that the celebration for the Super Bowl is different. It's been the same for about 6 years now, the exact same cut and paste celebration for when you win the Super Bowl, but I have heard that they changed that for this year. So that is big. That is actually really big that they changed the Super Bowl celebration. I'm not sure what it looks like. I have not seen it yet, but I have heard rumors that they have changed it. So on-the-field reactions are going to be cool. We did see, I mentioned that in yesterday's video, that the Sean McVay slamming the clipboard down has been in the game for a few years now. That was a little bit disappointing to see that. But if they add different ones, then that'd be cool. I do want to see more customization with the touchdown celebrations, because the touchdown celebrations, they've added more in recent memory. But I want to see like specific customization. Like if you score a touchdown with Zeke Elliott, I want to see him do the feed me thing. If you score a touchdown with Michael Thomas, I want to see him do the flex. If you score a touchdown with Aaron Rodgers, I want to see the State Farm discount double check. I had to think of what it was called. If you score a touchdown with specific guys, the Justin Jefferson, the gritty dance, I want to see that with specific players. If a specific player has a specific celebration, I want to be able to do that in the game. So I hope they add that. I don't know if they'll add that this year, but I want to see them add that in new or in later versions. And now we got some screenshots. I can't zoom in on these screenshots, but we got Tom Brady out here on Tampa Bay, the defending Super Bowl champion. Stephon Diggs, we talked about in yesterday's video. His player model looks really good. Justin Fields, first look at Justin Fields, rookie for the Chicago Bears. Will not start week 1 for the Chicago Bears. It will be Andy Dalton, but he's there. He looks really good too. This almost looks like a picture of Justin Fields in an NFL, like in an actual real life game. And then we got the cool American flag, which I'm assuming is going to be the new intro to a game. When you load up a game, it looks like it's going to be a flyover and it's going to be the flag stretched out across the field. So that's pretty nice touch. And then to wrap things up, we've got Madden All Access. We've got the launch of Madden NFL 22 in August. So I'm going to be obviously covering a lot of this stuff. We've got developer deep dives. We've got Madden content creator reveals, Making Madden podcast, Gridiron notes, which is kind of the same thing we're talking about here. We've got 621, which is the franchise Gridiron notes. I'm going to be talking about those we already discussed this in the earlier part of this video. I'm going to be covering those. Dynamic Game Day, probably covering that. Face the Franchise, definitely covering that. Superstar KO in the Yard. If I read it and it's interesting, I may talk about it. If not, I probably won't. EA Play Spotlight, we'll talk about that. And then the ratings week, we'll definitely go over that. So be on the lookout. This is the big time of the channel here. June and July is going to be big on Madden 22 content. Just by covering, not even actually having the game and playing it, because that's August. So then we get the Madden 22 pre-orders. I'm probably going to have the big version, but maybe obviously you guys can get the whatever version you want, but I probably will go for this expensive version. I don't know why I go for it, but I probably will. You get everything here. And you do get a lot of stuff. You don't get, this is the only thing that you don't get, I guess. I can't really read what that says. But you don't really, that's the only thing that you don't get, and you get lesser amounts of the staff points and then of the packs, it looks like. So either MVP edition or the big version, doesn't really matter what version you get, or the regular version. And that's it. This game is building a lot of hype. They do this every year. They build the hype and then they let you down. So I'm not going to get overly excited or overly hyped about Madden 22, especially franchise mode, until they prove me wrong. I've talked about this in previous episodes of talking about Madden. I've been let down a lot before by Madden, especially by franchise mode. So until they prove me wrong, I'm not going to get super hyped about it. And I think what they should do on the 21st is just absolutely go crazy with their release of the franchise update. They need to... This franchise, this is make or break on the 21st. It is make or break for the game, because if franchise mode is once again bad, then their game is going to be just completely flopping before it even comes out. Franchise mode is the backbone of the Madden game at this point, and most of their community plays franchise mode, and most of their community has voiced an uprising of dislike for franchise mode over the past couple of years, including myself. So on the 21st, if it's not up to our standards, or at least getting to our standards, it's not going to be good. So I really hope they do a good job on the 21st. We will obviously cover it. Make sure you guys have that notification bell ticked. Obviously, I upload on at noon every day, so you don't really need the notification bell ticked. But if you want to, have it ticked. Subscribe to the channel as well. Join the Juice Club. That's going to do it for this Gridiron Notes reaction or recap or discussion, whatever you want to call it, really. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. Smash that like button. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.